And this year was the Westport Chamber had decided to tackle them and get a new set. So we have set up a GoFundMe page that if anybody has any loose change, you might have a look at GoFundMe and throw it into that, please. Now, tonight's guests are Kevin and Samantha Kennedy, all the way from Brampton, Ontario, Canada. A town which I actually have been in myself in town. I have a colleague in Brampton, GP. Bert Manning, how are you, Bert, in case you're recording. Kevin,
yeah,
was born in Mill Street.
Mill Street.
How long ago, Kevin?
Mill Street. I left Mill Street in 1965. I went to Dublin. I was there for 3 years, and I got married on the 1st of April 1968, and we emigrated to Canada on the 6th of April. So we spent the rest of our time on our honeymoon.
And what motivated you to go to Canada?
What motivated me? God, that's a terrible question, Oliver, you know. I've never had a motivation in my life, you know. It's like wherever the breeze blows me, you know. It seemed like a good idea at the time. It seemed like a good idea, and it was a good idea. It's a great country, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually in Georgetown, which is just outside Brampton. This is Samantha's house I'm in. She lives a little bit outside. So, just to keep people informed.
And what was Westport like when you were a kid?
Westport,
What's your memory of that?
Westport was a very quiet little town, you know, like the never mind Christmas lights, we barely had street lights. The street lights went off at 12 o'clock midnight. There was no lights then until the next evening, and which was very good if you happened to be trying to escort a young lady home, because it suddenly got very dark and you could work it to your advantage.
Earmuffs.
In that case of leading not into temptation.
Well, now.
Again, earmuffs.
But how many buddies in Westport when you were a teenager?
How many what?
Who were your buddies? Your friends?
Oh God, you know, most of them, like Edwin Gibbons was one of my you know Edwin?
I know Edwin,
Yeah, and Marty Curry, myself and Edwin, Marty Curry, Jackie Foley, we were like a gang, you know, we had a group, myself and Jackie and March had a group, we called ourselves the Abbey Folk Trio, and we never managed to get paid anywhere, but we played in a lot of places.
And did you improve anything?
I remember
What kind of music were you playing? I assume it was folk, was it?
it was folk, Irish folk mainly then, you know, like the Clancy brothers were going strong, so we thought we were the new Clancy brothers, and we got jumpers from Sonia Kelly. Sonia she used to make the Arden Chris's, and then she started to make clothes. And she had these jumpers, and they were made out of Arden Chris's. But there was no giving them at all. It was like getting into a straitjacket trying to put them on.
Maybe you should have had a straitjacket on in the dark nights.
And I played with Pat Friel. You know Pat?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, I played with Pat Friel group. We played all over dance halls all over the place, you know. We
musical legend here, isn't it?
we were legends in our own mind.
In your own trousers.
You're getting a bit too far risque now.
Exactly, more earmuffs.
Well, this is 2020. You're talking about 1965 or whatever it was.
I am, yeah. It's a little different.
Where did you play? Where did you play your music?
Where did you play?
We played in, they're all gone probably, the Pavilion Ballroom.
Still standing, but different.
Still standing, but it's a storeroom or something now. The Ideal Cinema, which was also a ballroom, they would take the seats out and they'd have a ballroom. And we played in Lecanvy. We played in Carrikennedy, and they had no electricity in the hall in Carrikennedy. So we had an amplifier that hooked up to a car battery, and the it would work fine for the beginning of the night, but as the night wore on, the battery wore down. You could hear nothing but the drums and the accordion,
Yeah, that's where Eamon O'Malley Garage is now, I think.
I passed by it. There's some kind of a storeroom or something there, but they had
Eamon O'Malley's Garage.
yeah. They had no electricity, so he would have the Aladdin lamps hanging from the ceiling,
Yeah.
and he'd come out every now and then and pump them up, and it would get really bright, and after a while get dim again. And he'd shake paraffin and Lux washing flakes on the floor to make it slippy. And he had three kinds of sandwiches. He had bread and jam, bread and butter and jam, and bread and butter. So you could have any one of those you wanted.
It's quite the variety.
There were great sandwiches that time. They were
Oh
transparent.
God, they
You
were
could see
marvelous.
through it.
I'll tell you, we had some great nights in that hall.
I bet you had some great news from that.
And in Ahagaur, we played in Ahagaur a lot.
Was there much drinking on that time?
Was what?
There much drinking.
Much drinking.
Oh no, there's never much drinking in Ireland, Oliver. You know, that's we all took the pledge.
We were never too far behind the curve on
Well,
that one.
Yeah, let me put it this way. When you played at a dance and you start at 9 o'clock, the place was full of women, and there was no men there until after 11 o'clock, when the pubs closed. Because you couldn't get drink at a dance hall then. You know, that was the devil's work. You know. We'd all go to hell if we did that.
And you worked in Dublin, did you?
You worked in Dublin.
I worked in Dublin for. I went up initially to train with Volkswagen to be a service advisor for Cathal Duffy's in Castlebar. And you know, there was barely anyone was ever less suited for a job than me for that. But while I was up there, I met Jane, and then I went back to Castlebar and worked for a while, and then I said, to hell with this, I'm going back. And I went back to Dublin and I worked in a plastics extrusion factory in Clondalkin.
And you have a brother who was a very good musician, didn't you?
My brother Ray was excellent. Yeah, he had a great group in Dublin, and he had tons of success with them. Platform, and he played in the Burlington Hotel. They played in the Embankment, all the big folk venues they played in at the time. And sadly, he died 3 years ago. His ashes are buried with my father and mother in Ahagaur. And he was also a really good cyclist back in the time of Mickey Palmer, himself and Noel Burke and Pat Grady and a few others, you know, and they were in Rostalchin. They were in Rostalchin and everything. And Ray was running, he was third in general classification in Rostalchin. And on the stage from Galway to Westport, he fell. And there wasn't much support, there was no support. You had to look after yourself. So he finished an hour behind them that day, and that was him out of it for the rest of the race. Then.
Did he ever record any music?
Oh yeah.
Us here?
No, did Ray record music?
Oh yeah, God, Ray recorded loads. Yeah.
Did he, yeah?
He recorded loads as Platform, and I don't know, he must have, I don't know, 5 or 6, maybe more CDs and tapes and everything going back, you know. Going back to vinyls, which we did, I did myself, vinyl, and myself and Samantha have done a few CDs, and sure, they sold like hotcakes.
You had an appearance on the Late Show, one time.
Sorry?
Did you have an appearance on the Late Show?
We did. We went back, and it was the 10th anniversary of Irish television. It was New Year's Eve, 1971, and we were on it, the Irish Rebels, and it was like all the big names from Ireland. there was names in the audience that were much more famous than us, but we got on and we had a great run. Noel Purcell was on, and he was the friendliest of anyone that was there. A lovely man.
Did you get paid for that one?
No.
And then you went over to Canada.
I went over
What
to
did you work at in Canada when you got there?
What's that?
What did you work at in Canada?
What did you do?
I worked. Oh God! I worked at a million jobs. I worked at a factory. The first job I had was in a factory, which was a terrible job, and I lasted there for a year until Samantha was born. And when she was born, I said, I'm not working anymore. So anyway, I worked for IBM as a customer service rep. And eventually I joined the Irish Rebels, and we were a full-time folk group. And we worked, there was 4 of us.
How long were you on the road?
We never went on the road much because we had tons of work in Toronto. And we were going strong, and then Dermot Dunn, who was the lead singer and the manager from Rings End in Dublin, great singer, he died in 1974, and we kind of struggled, and we split up and everything. And then I played with one of the guys, Harry Beakley from Dublin. I played with him for a long, long time, and then I just went on my own, and now I have this one tagging along with me.
I'd say lucky.
She's good, she's good because I've heard her.
She is good. Yeah.
On YouTube, I've heard her. Yeah.
She is good.
And what about in Toronto for Christmas? You enjoy it?
Yeah, oh yeah. Like Christmas is, people go crazy. It's all the houses are done up, as they are now at home, I think, as well. Lights all over the place. But Christmas, I've always loved Christmas, and people are complaining if they hear Christmas music in October. Well, I don't care. Christmas music is lovely. Play it any time you want.
So they might be complaining about us talking about Christmas in October as well.
But where Christmas when I was growing up was.
And we're too long around now to get excited about that, isn't it?
We would go out to Marnes's Wood. Do you know Marnes's Wood?
Yeah.
It's just up past where the old thread factory was, the Tesco there. And we would go out there on Christmas Eve, and we'd cut down a holly tree, and we'd bring it in, and that was the Christmas tree. My father would nail 2 boards on the bottom of it and stand it up in the hall, and we had a few decorations, and we had a set of lights, which in my lifetime never worked, but we put them on the tree anyway.
You couldn't afford the bulbs.
I think you would have electrocuted yourself if you plugged them in. And then
I think rather than listen to me now, the people out there would prefer to listen to you two sing a song.
they might be sorry.
I know you don't have pound. You know, have you pound my head off by heart?
Have we what?
Have you a poem?
A poem?
Yeah, do a poem.
Yeah, I know poems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
I'll do a song for it.
We're going to do a 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minute gig, whatever you like to do. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
This is a song written by Stephen Collins Foster, who was born in Philadelphia, of Scots-Irish and English parents, and he wrote loads of songs that people will know. It's called Hard Times Come Again No More.
Let us pause in life's pleasures and count its many tears, while we all sup sorrow with the poor. There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come
'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. There's a poor drooping maiden who toils her life away with a worn heart whose better days are o'er. Though her voice would be merry, 'tis sighing all the day. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song that is whispered across the troubled wave. 'Tis the wail that is heard upon the shore. 'Tis the dirge that is murmured around the lowly grave. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. Oh, hard times come again no more. Oliver, you know, we were talking about people not liking Christmas. What's that?
You can stay for the rest of the night.
We were talking about Christmas music and people not liking it. But here's a Christmas song. This was written by Franz Gruber in Austria when the church, he was an organist, I think, in the church, and the church organ broke down and they needed a song for Christmas Day. So he wrote this song. Obviously the first words would have been in German, Austrian, but someone wrote other words later, and we will sing two versions of it in neither of those first languages. So, and because the organ broke down, he had to play it on the guitar, so it's fitting that it's on
That means you're going to sing it in Irish.
a little bit, yeah. Cockna suan di sharen is dilsha ag farle space nil biog negal can antonish kvev Christen of color go shave Christ in a color go shave.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm.
Erier dus cool and scale Kanten sorg in Aris again Nirnbjörn megaling Aris again Istan slaughty or fame Priest on slowly or fame
Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly folks sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, all is
soul
is
One of the advantages of singing in Irish is that a lot of people won't notice if you make a mistake, and I made a mistake in the words in the second verse.
You're not supposed to tell that.
Well, what the hell.
Which of you made the most mistakes?
It's never me.
I'm going to try and stay quiet because I'm in her house. And, you know, I might get a sandwich.
You want to say Happy Christmas to anybody in Westport?
Happy Christmas to Edwin and Maura Gibbons, to Tish Sheridan in Ahagaur, the Foys in Ahagaur, who else? Tom Kenny in Westport, God knows. It's a mistake to start naming names
Because you'll never remember.
I won't remember.
We're getting it later, Kevin. You'll be forgiven.
It doesn't matter the age. You didn't remember then either.
I forgot to remember. You mentioned a poem, and I'll try one, although I haven't done this for quite a while. But my best friend in the world died on Thursday, and this was his favourite poem, written by James Joyce. Joyce wrote this when his son was born, and he looked at his son and he realised that maybe he hadn't been paying enough attention to his father. So he wrote this poem as a reminder of that, and as a reminder to all of us. Eche Puer. Of the dark past a child is born. With joy and grief my heart is torn. Calm in his cradle the living lies. May love and mercy unclose his eyes. Young life is breathed on the glass. The world that was not comes to pass. A child is sleeping, an old man gone. O Father forsaken, forgive your son. From Jimmy Joyce.
Seriously?
Can I ask you a question?
No.
How many songs do you know off by heart?
How many songs do you know off by heart?
Off by heart, That's a difficult question to answer because a lot of the ones I do on Facebook are ones, some of them I have never done before in my life. I'll just get the words and I'll do them, and then, you know, as quick as I sing them, I forget them. But I know hundreds by heart, which...
Well, do you read any of them off when you're on Facebook or on YouTube? You read them off or do you know them?
Sometimes I read them off, sometimes I know them, you know. Depends.
Yeah, I've wondered that.
Yeah.
It seems to be a never-ending list.
Well, you know, people keep suggesting them, so if anyone over there has any suggestions, by all means.
Yeah, you're fantastic, yeah.
It inspires me. Are you ready to sing again?
I'm not ready to sing. He blew me out like that. It totally surprised me with this one.
Well, okay, I did, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, all
okay.
right. It's okay, we're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're good.
We'll finish off with a bunch of songs here because people will be getting fed up of us.
And then before I finish, don't send the bill to me. Send it to Helen Gavin of the Chamber of Commerce, right?
Send what?
The bill, yeah, we'll send the bill. Yeah, it's a big bill.
A big long one.
He's a pensioner too, so you know, don't come after me for it.
You know, Christmas music was huge.
Oh no, I don't think I can do that. It's way too high maintenance, the two of you.
Christmas music. Jane loved Christmas music, and she would have started the baking last month, and you'd always know she was baking the Christmas stuff when you'd come in and the Christmas music would be on, and she'd be there in the kitchen baking away,
singing away.
And for some reason, a big song, big music in our house became the ABBA. It was one of our Christmas records. It was ABBA, and Samantha does a beautiful version on this. So with a bunch of songs, we'll finish off and say hello to everyone in Westport. And just if anyone there wants to check me out, Kevin Kennedy on Facebook, I'd be delighted to hear from you. For Jeannie and Charlie Cruising as well.
Yeah, well, any song you send him, he'll figure it out one way or another.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. You and I can share the silence, finding comfort together, the way old friends do. And after fights and words of violence, we make up with each other the way old friends do. Times of joy and times of sorrow, we will always see it through. I don't care what comes tomorrow, we will make it together the way old friends do.
Of all the money that ever I had, I spent it in good company. And of all the harm that ever I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for the want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass, good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that ever I've known, they are sorry at my going away. And of all the sweethearts that ever I've had, they would wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of all lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne.
We twa tripped around the burn and pulled the gowan fine. We have wandered many a weary foot for old lang syne, for old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we will take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne.
Oh, the summertime is coming, it's not, and the trees were sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to
pluck
wild mountain thyme, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go?
I will build my love a bower near yon pure crystal fountain, and on it I will pile all the wild flowers of the mountain. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain thyme, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? If my true love, she were gone, I would never find another where the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all
go together to pluck wild mountain thyme, all around
I feel like I've been here before, but I can't remember when. And I've got this funny feeling that I'll be back once again. There's no straight lines make up my life, and all my roads have bends. There's no clear-cut beginnings, and so far no dead ends. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the night time till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. The season's spinning around again, the years keep rolling by. I found you 1,000 times, I guess you've done the same. But then we lose each other, it's just like some children's game. But as I see you here again, this thought runs through my mind. My life is like a circle, let's go round one more time. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the night time till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. The season's spinning around again, the years keep rolling by. The season's spinning around again, the years keep rolling by. Shinawell.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
You were singing when you go, let it go. I thought you were singing when you go, let it go.
We wouldn't say that.
Never say that, Ollie. No.
I'm going to give this. And thank you very much. And that was fantastic.
And I'll be looking forward to your pictures from Westport.
Well, I've enjoyed it too. Don't worry about that.
All right, Ollie.
Good to see you.
Take care of yourself.
I met you a couple of years ago. So thanks very much, Ed, and thanks a million.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Actually,
Okay.
we're writing this message as part of this 28 days. No, this is the 26th year. So whoever gets the most likes and shares gets a free trip home from where they are. It was intended to be for Christmas, but it ain't going to be for Christmas this year.
Yeah, yeah.
So whenever it suits, and if you have somebody at home, a relation or a friend, they can turn on the Christmas lights, these famous Christmas lights, and we get them. So there you go.
Great stuff.
Need someone will brighten up our life.
Great stuff. One of us will go and the other will come back.
I should great to see the two of you, isn't it?
Great to see you, Ollie.
You have a great chemistry there between the two of you, and it's great to see you.
Yes. Good,
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, Oliver. Iwagif agus nullig fri hain is fri washi yiv galer.
It's done.
We're done.
We're done. I like that. That went well.
Yeah. I have the years flowing through the night time instead of the moon.
Yes. It could be the same thing.
Oh, yeah, sorry to
Oh,
catch you with that one. but-
well, and I was going to say, and if we were on stage, I would have said, like, invariably, and this used to be years ago,
Yeah.
you either messed up royally in your
That's what
song,
you're saying.
or you made me cry, and then you called me up.
Usually with the old man.
Yeah. Thanks for being a good sound guy.